welcome back to the New Age Open, and what an amazing upset that was. Ye of little faith.
Yeah.
I went with my heart. My heart was correct, and
I'm happy for you. That was awesome.
I am now, I believe, 100 for 1. No, 100 for 0. Like I'm
100 for 1.
3 for 0. Wow.
That's
totally
amazing.
Yeah, it's 100 for 1 already, with
100
only
for
4
1.
matches in.
No, yeah. So I've gotten everything correct so far, I believe.
That is really impressive. I'm like 50-50. I'm 2-2 right now.
When I'm beating tournament veterans such as yourself,
Yes.
that's actually pretty crazy. So we're joined here by CCP Fozzie, our new commentator for the next 4 matches. Why don't
Welcome.
you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm
You're,
CCP Fozzie. I'm a game designer, just like Mr. Rise here, working on EVE Online. And before that, I was a Alliance tournament commentator, again, like Rise, for a couple of years, and played the game since 2006 for quite a long time. And yeah, I just absolutely love tournaments. It's always a great time of year to be watching a tournament. And this has been an awesome set of matches.
Yeah,
so far.
I'm actually super happy about this tournament. I think it's going to be really good.
I mean, getting to see the double Inquisitor, this is the first tournament that we've allowed that, where you'd have more than one ship with remote reps. Since the one ship rule was put into place in like 85 or something.
Quite a while
long time
ago. Maybe 7, but a long time ago.
And the double Inquisitor, I wasn't sure if people were going to be taking advantage of it, but that, like, we heard doing a great job of it. Like, group of streamers thinking outside the box, they really took advantage of it.
Was that something that you had back in the back of your mind? That's something that might be possible, that might come out?
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason that we put that rule in. We actually explicitly said you're allowed to bring 2 Logi ships as long as they're Logi frigates. Yeah. And we weren't sure how popular it was going to be, but this one 100% win rate so far. So,
yeah, that's true.
You know, that obviously means it's going to win the tournament.
I'm wondering if this is a setup that We Heard has practiced on stream, or if this was something that was completely unexpected by everything that happened, like
I've
scouting
actually
them
watched
and everything.
them practice with double Inquisitors on
Really?
stream. Yes. So they have done this on streams.
If Teamwork did their homework, if Team Footwork did their homework, then this shouldn't have been a surprise for them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, it's there isn't really any way to hard counter it other than just have some good anti-frigs. And the Caracals are ships that generally do really well against
They could be fine. I was wondering if they would do better if they had brought some strong, like, frig versus frigs of their own, you know,
frigs,
some assault frigs, or even interceptors or something like that. But or even just some, you know, like Atrons. But I don't know. It does seem like with the Caracals they should have at least had a chance, and they did not. Nope. So that's pretty cool.
But yeah, a crazy upset there. We heard surprising, I believe, everyone.
Yeah, I was expecting Footwork there too.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard it's awesome that they're streaming, that they're a great group of content creators in EVE. I really like them, but Footwork is one of my favorite tournament teams now. I think they're very strong, and yeah, I do think they're going to just tear a swath through the losers bracket.
Yeah. What do you think about, for teams like We Heard, or any new team entering the tournament? At this point, there's so much like documented tournament history. Like, do you think the experience gap is actually smaller than we sort of present it as being, just because of how much they can learn from watching?
I think it really can be. I've read some stuff written by actually the Footwork guys about how they got started. The AT11 was their first tournament, and then they've been in the SCL since. They talk a lot about how they watched a lot of old tournaments, and that's how they kind of built up that initial experience of how the tournament works, what kind of strategies work, and then brought that in and just came in with a bang in their first tournament.
Right. I mean, there's obviously some things that you're not going to be able to get from just watching old tournaments, like the communication stuff, or you know,
but that's the kind of stuff you can get from just PvP.
Right. If you bring in a lot of that good experience, which probably the We Heard guys actually have, and then match that up with just studying a bit from what's worked in the past, you might not be as far behind as we might think.
And I think the We Heard guys are another group that very well may have done some research themselves, and obviously is a group that knows how to solo PvP, because they often do that with live audience.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I know from just talking and watching their streams and so on, that they were not expecting to win this match.
Really?
And they were like, they were blaming me for the draw. They were saying like, you put us in a terrible match, and they really didn't think that they were going to win this match, but they were going to do their best. And their best just came out and was exceptional. Like, it was a really good match. And
not an easy tournament to draw into. I mean, you have like 50-50 of hitting a team at least as scary as Footwork, I think.
So I actually saw like comments from those guys from We Heard in stream chat where they were just going like, yes, we did it. And this is a huge moral victory for them. And they're going to be hyped for the rest of the tournament. Like if this kind of fuels them, they might have really big momentum for doing this upset.
And I'm really curious to see if we have a lot more of this double logistics frigate thing.
And the other great thing about it is
really
it's only 4
dynamic.
points. So the only, or before this, the cheapest way to get an effective Logi setup was to spend 10 points on a Logi cruiser.
Yeah.
The Tech 1 ones.
Right.
This is 4 points. And
yeah, it's so cheap.
Inquisitors or Bursts or Bantams.
Now that you're here, I have a new addition for what we're going to talk about, and I get bans now. So
beautiful.
we're going to transition over to the next match, and hopefully that'll be as good of a match as the last one was. And that is the Titanian fleet versus Dyslexodus Weepy May, which I always read Weepy Many, which I guess means that I'm dyslexic. So the Titanian fleet banned out the Vargar and the Rook, and the Dyslexodus team banned out the Vindicator and the Eos.
Okay.
So
it's kind of interesting. Banned out almost all ships we haven't seen yet in the tournament.
Yes.
Except for the Vargar, which didn't do too well.
Which didn't do well.
Banning out the Rook might suggest that they're wanting to bring a Marauder of their own.
Yeah.
Because Marauders, actually no, it doesn't anymore. I was completely forgot about the balance there for a second. No, ignore that entirely. I have no idea what those bans will mean actually at this point. Those are pretty open bans. They're just basically a bunch of strong ships. The EOS is now a pretty strong tournament ship.
Yeah, I was going to say the EOS Vindicator bans just feel like kind of strong, brawly. Like you could ban that if you're trying to run Slipners or something like that. Just anything that's like strong close range.
It is kind of hard, and that's actually one of the great things about a ban like that is it doesn't tell the other team too much about what you're bringing.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rook Vargar are much more confusing. I mean, Vargar probably just because it's likely the strongest Marauder for the format, and if you just don't want to see a Marauder, that makes it a lot worse for them to bring one. Of course, a big thing with the Marauders is being able to run when you are cap dry, because that's their biggest vulnerability. So Vargar being able to run autocannons is a really big plus.
Yep.
Kronos and Paladin a little more vulnerable to cap warfare.
Even though the Paladin was one of the most popular Marauders in the SCL, actually. Great damage projection. It can just hit across the arena without even having to move too much. As we saw the Vargar for the No Boundaries guys, it was having to bounce all over the arena.
Right.
Yeah. So before we go and talk a little bit about the next two teams, there's a possible 5-minute delay on the next match.
Oh, no.
So we need to talk a little bit.
Let's set off the fire alarm again.
So I'm going to read out a tweet here from your mom, which is on
nice
Twitter.
Mom.
That is
my mom actually usually watches the tournament.
You are mother. I know my mom is watching, so hi, Mom. Definitely doing that. Your mom says... Which is actually, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Your mom says, New Eden Open 2 tournament is the new hotness. League of Legends / Dota, old and busted. Hashtag Neo, hashtag Tweetfight, hashtag EVE Online, and then she links the stream. And I completely agree.
Oh, yes. I think all the numbers bear that out. It's statistically proven.
Yeah.
But yeah, with all the stats.
Well, if you look at it as a percentage of a player base, we're beating those games by a large margin.
We do have very dedicated people. And like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of people really dedicated to the tournaments, even as they kind of come and go from EVE. I know a lot of the people I played EVE with have kids and stuff now, but they still love to watch the tournament. So,
And guys, if you at home are hosting a New Eden Open viewing party, then please take a picture and tweet it at us. Either just at CCPBro, or you can tweet it with the hashtag NEO2, and we'll definitely take a look at it. And if it looks really good, then we might just throw it up on the stream for you. So next set of teams, the Titanian fleet versus Dyslexodus Weepy May.
Yes.
What do you want to tell us about those teams? Who are they? What are they? Are they good? Are they bad?
So the big standout is the Exodus team. I'm not going to try to pronounce that name every single time because I'm going to mess it up like 3/4 of the time. But this is Exodus guys. These are another extremely strong, relatively new tournament team. They've only been in 2 ATs and then the one Neo and some SCLs. But they are an extremely strong team. This is the team that did come third in the last Alliance tournament. It's a lot of the same core members of that team. And I'm expecting them to do really well here.
Yeah, they've just looked really, really strong in everything they've done. And then on the other side, the Titanian Fleet team is, of course, another incursion team.
Who have been surprising us, doing really well so far, the first one.
Yeah. ISN, of course, winning the first match of the day, so see if the Titanian Fleet can keep that up.
Yep, they're specifically an armor incursion fleet. So like a lot of the incursion groups will either dedicate themselves to shield or armor, and Titanian Fleet is one of the big armor channels, and so they've built their team from that.
I wonder if that will carry through into their tournament strategy.
Who knows? Yeah, actually that...
no one in our alliance can use shield.
Yeah, I believe CVA has run like a lot of armor stuff in the Alliance.
They have,
tournament,
but
right?
then they've also faked people out by going Minmatar stuff as well, expecting people to tank against EM and then coming in with explosive damage. So CVA is very flexible about that. They don't limit themselves, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still no news of the match. So
yeah. I mean, so like Exodus, I'm definitely expecting to be one of the strongest teams in this tournament. They have been in the ATs, they have been in the SCLs. They've done really well. And then we've got another great set of 3 matches after this before the break. German ski lessons versus the Raging Homo Sapiens. German ski lessons are Seldarine's team. They're the Suddenly Spaceship guys. Very long history in the tournament. They also came in third, I believe, third or fourth in the last New Eden Open.
Didn't Seldarine create an entire song, a lengthy ad for their team?
He did create a gigantic, amazing ad.
Yeah, did a parody of, I believe, Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus with an Eve text, which is pretty good. I watched it. And I recommend if people want to watch it at home to search for it. I think it's called Wrecking Shot. And if you want to watch that, then search for that on YouTube and give that a look.
And he's been tweeting it, and they put it in the Alliance tournament forums, on our official forums.
On their team description, they have part of the lyrics. So if you go to the New Eden Open community page, you can click their team name, which is about as good as a German ski lesson, and read it there.
Which, by the way, that name was an amazing joke, like the week that this was submitted, and has not aged well at all. At that point, everyone's been, oh yeah, German ski lessons. There's 2 Germans that got injured at the same time skiing. Ha, that's funny. And now everyone's forgotten about it.
I didn't even know that. I just thought it was a funny name, a funny lengthy name. They did have a funny name last year as well, right? They had
They were the goggle wearing
internet crime fighters.
Yeah, they put together some good names. Seldarine is a very funny guy. He's one of the SCL commentators as well, and he is known for an excellent wit.
And then kind of going on in the day, another really interesting team we can talk about is 8CAS. Why don't you...
So 8CAS, they're PvPers, especially like to live in the Syndicate region, do a lot of fighting there. But what's notable about them is they keep most of their members in the Noob Corp. So in the corporation you start out the game in, and if you ever leave, you can't come back to it. The Center for Advanced Studies, one of the Glente ones. And so they just roam around, and all of their pilots are in the Starter Corp. And so everyone sees them and is like, oh, that'll be easy. I'm sure we can engage that. And then they just get wrecked. So it is an amazing strategy for getting fights.
And the other cool thing is that they work to train new people that are actually legitimately noobs in that noob corp, right?
So they're in the corp channel with all these new players, so they can let them know about the game and invite them to fleets.
Which is pretty awesome. Really one of the things we see consistently and saw a ton of recently because of B-R is that in general our players are pretty good to new people. And this is just an example of that. And an example of that getting carried into the tournament is even more awesome.
Yeah, definitely. We can use this opportunity to give a huge shout out to all our player groups that dedicate themselves to making the game a more friendly and welcoming place for new players. You guys are awesome, and you're doing an amazing job, and we definitely love you for it.
Yes, we had a really great community, and seeing how the people have been opening up their arms after B-R, where we had so many new players joining. We've had to actually increase the cap for the size of corporations. We're doing that in a patch in 1.3 for Rubicon because of the fact that one of the new player corps, Brave Newbies, has just grown so big that it was hitting our cap.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So now the cap's going to be 12,000, so that should last them a little while. Actually, probably not that long, but a little while.
Yeah, that's great. And then after the 8CAS match, we have...
Another really big team,
Another really big team, the PL team.
Yeah, Agmar Money Team is the Pandemic Legion group. So these are the guys that did quite well in the last. They won the last Alliance tournament. Did absolutely horrendously and just lost 2 games in a row and went right out in the last New Eden Open. So we're interested to see.
Why did that happen?
Redeem themselves this time around.
In the last New Eden Open, they flew out of arenas a lot. So that was definitely an issue.
Lose Randolph.
Yes. Yeah. And then they also named their team Y-Dash. Which, as a lot of older players may know, is the kryptonite for Pandemic Legion. Any system with a Y-dash in its name will cause them to lose and die. Yeah, so
funny.
They decided to taunt that curse, and it bit them back.
and after that match, we have a break.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you? Were you going to say anything else?
I'm kind of thinking about this show as though there's a lot of new people because of stuff like B-R.
Yes.
I just thought it was worth saying that CCP Fozzie before coming to CCP was actually kind of the one of the main people running the PL team. So
yes.
when he says things about the PL team, they're probably true. And if they're really mean, that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did a lot of the spying for them.
Yep.
Of course, that was kind of more of a thing before because we give private systems.
Although not for the NEO.
Not for the NEO.
So that's been back for the NEO. But yeah, that was a bit less popular.
Do you know if teams were doing stuff like hiding in wormholes on CC for practicing for the...
I'm not sure. I didn't actually see any reports of that. But it's very possible.
I saw a bunch of reports of people being spied on.
Yes.
So there was plenty of spying and metagaming.
I mean, that's
a big part of EVE.
That's always been a big part of EVE and a really big part of the tournament. And we've seen people go to really, really extreme measures. I had, the Warlords team at one point in the past kind of lay out what they had to do to get a private system to practice in on Singularity, and it's just extraordinary the effort people are willing to go to.
And it wasn't actually private because I still watch them.
Now they're
imagine working
sitting
with
at
this
home
creepy
and
guy.
they're like, oh wow, we went through all that work and we still got caught.
Yeah.
All gonna be super sad.
But yeah, and the team that Agmar Money team's actually coming up against in 3 matches is also pretty notable. It's Tinkerhell's guys, Sinusoid Field Theory, the Nocturnal Romance guys, and they're another pretty well-known group of PvPers. So it'll be interesting to see how they do.
Yeah.
Tough draw for them, but again, it might be tough draw, or this team might just flame out like the last PL NEO team.
Looks like we have one of the teams on the field for the next match.
We're drawing closer to the match.
They're coming in.
Yeah, the second team is coming in. If we maybe I'll just run over the bans again real quick so people maybe have a better sense of that they brought setup, modified a setup or so on. So Titanian Fleet banned out the Vargar and the Rook, and Dyslexidus banned out the Vindicator and the Eos. So those are the 4 ships that we're not going to be seeing in this match. But we're going to be seeing at least... probably been seeing 16 ships, other ships.
Yes. We're going to see quite a lot of ships and quite a lot of drones.
Quite a lot of drones.
There's going to be a lot of drones in this one. So it'll be fun to see. Very different drone teams, but there will be a lot of drones. And that'll be actually a pretty interesting one to see. I really can't call it from the setups.
This extra waiting, these extra 6 minutes that we've been waiting for this match has hyped it up more in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm completely stoked to see how this match goes. And as I say that, our match is ready.
Let's do it.
Predictions, CCP Rise.
I'm a pretty firm believer in Exodus, so I'm going to go with them.
Yeah, I definitely think Exodus is going to take this.
I agree with the both of them, and I think Exodus is going to take this. But will we see another upset? Let's find out.